Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have a story from this brother who has been through a very rough time in his life. And some decisions he made brought serious negative consequences to his family. I will entreat you all to pay much attention to our brother's message to us all. I wouldn't want to take much of your time, so let us all go and listen what our brother has for us. Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload.
Brother, I greet you and your beautiful family with much love. I have been watching the videos you put on your channel. Anytime that I watch or listen to what people are going through, I feel the need to also talk to you about what I have been through and also putting my family through. This has gotten me to a point in my life where I feel so out of place or touch as a human being. Honestly, someone might say otherwise. But if you are in my shoes, then the person might also feel what I am going through. Life is really something that I have come to realize that you just can't cheat nature. Everything has been arranged in a perfect balance, and one needs to just also balance him or herself. Tune him or herself with nature so that life can be so smooth for the person. This is the bitter lesson I have learnt, but then I learned it too late. The damage has already been caused and I just have to going forward learn and do the right thing. Brother, what happened to me is such that I will say I allowed people to play or capitalized on my ambitions to make money in life to ruin my own family. Please, before I continue, let me say that if you want to make money and it is not your time, I mean if it is not in line with your destiny to make that money in that age of your life, you will need to pour blood or else, forget it. They will come telling you that this one there is no blood sacrifice involved. My brothers and sisters, they will be lying to you if they tell you that. Never believe that you can make such money without sacrificing something. You might not even be aware from the beginning that you are even responsible for such things or things happening in your family. That is exactly what has happened to me, and I feel the need to also share my experience with others to also let them in on the possibilities of what happened to me. It has always been my dream to let my poor mother smile one day in this life. And so, growing up, I always had her in my heart that, whatever I am doing on this earth, I am doing it for her. My siblings and everyone around me knew me to be like that. And sometimes they will even tease as being mother's son. But then, in all I still remember the fact that she alone took care of us when our father died. We were very young when our father died. I will tell you that, my grandparents from my father's side, took in my other two siblings after they realized my mother could no longer afford to cater for us all. Because they were young, it made sense for them to go live with my grandparents while I stay and help my poor mother to navigate the situation. So, that is how come I became so close to my mother to the extent that, you dare not go against her, I will come after you. Whether I can stand you or not, I will just have to defend her in all manner of situations. I wasn't the only one who was also suffering in this life. The friends that I had were also from a similar family backgrounds. And so, we had similar ambition to make it and relieve our family from such situations. And so, the four of us did almost everything we could do together. We will go and help each other when they have work that will bring the person money. So that, when it is your turn, we will also go and help you. Even though I was someone that really wanted things to change for me, I really was not that desperate for it to happen. One day, I was there when one of my friends came home and told me about the return of one of our friends. The thing is that, this friend who had come was the fifth person to our friendship. But he got the chance and then traveled to the city. And because of that, he never returned to our hometown until that very day. When we met him at our usual joint, he was indeed looking good. You could clearly tell that he was very loaded with money. We had some catch-up to do. And we did talk and talk till it was around 10 p.m. when he said he wanted to go and sleep. So that night, we all went to our house. At least that is what I thought happened. The next day, we realized that our friend was not in town and he alongside one of the guys were not there. Apparently, he had gone to the city with him without telling us anything. So in about a week's time, they came back and he finally told us that he wanted to return to the city after he had his things done in the town. So he went back to the city. That evening, our friend who went to the city with him called us all and told us that he asked him to give us some money. And so, he gave us the monies that he was supposed to give us. It was later that he told us that our friend took him to the city so that he would show him how to make money. And it was at his request for him helping us that is why our friend came to our hometown. Hearing about being able to make money excited all of us. And so he told us that our friend had asked him to inform us so that we will make ourselves ready for him. And when he returns, he will come for us to also enter into the world of money. That evening, when I went to sleep, I thought and thought about the whole thing. And it didn't make sense to me why he would take only one of us to show him how to be successful. It didn't sound right to me. But I wanted to know how things would go, so that if in case things would go right for my friends, I wouldn't be left out. So the day came and he did send my friend some money for him to bring us to the city, since he is the one that knows where he is. And so, we all came to the city one fateful Friday morning. I told my mother about my friend's desire to help us to do something for ourselves. And so, she told me to be very careful and always know that I am from a family that do not have much, and for that matter I should know how to take my steps. I gave her some of the little money that our friend had given us earlier. And so, we went to the city to embark on such a journey of trying to make money for ourselves. When we came, our friend gave us some monies to be sent back to our parents or family. Because he said we would be spending not less than a month or so in the city with him. So for about a week, he had not told us anything about the main reason why we were in the city in the first place. He one day told me and that he wants to go somewhere together with our friend who had visited him first. When they returned home that evening, he told us to get ready because we will be visiting the place where our destinies will be transformed from our current state to the new reality that we deserve. The day came and we got into his car one morning and we embarked on this journey. One thing I will say is that when you are going to do something or you are embarking on something and you don't feel right or okay about the thing that you are going to do, please I will entreat you to stop. Because that might be a sign for you to stop what you are going to do. Or it will be a warning sign to you to not continue what you are trying to do. Throughout the journey, I felt some uneasiness. And I kept on asking our friend questions about what exactly we were going to do there. Each and every time I asked him that, he would tell me to relax and see if what he wants to do for us will be good or not. There is a saying that, if I could turn back the hands of time. If I could just do that, I wish I had not even traveled with them to the city in the first place. Since there is no going back on that, I only can help my brothers out there not to also go through the same thing. When we got there, we were welcomed by this man who introduced himself as the servant to the person we came to meet. He gave us a place to wait for the man. In about some minutes, the man came and he looked somehow old. But he looked well dressed. He told us to follow him to one particular room. When we got to the room, he asked for our names, which we did have him. After giving him the names, he told all of us to go out and return to the room individually. So we went, and our friend who is already rich entered first. In about 30 minutes or so, he came out of the room holding something in his hands. He had it covered in a red cloth. He did pointed at the next person to go. According to him, the man asked him to call my other friend. He also did came out after spending some time in there holding in his hands something that is also covered in a red cloth. He on the other hand also told the other friend to also go as per the instructions of the man. I was the last person to enter into the room. When I got there, he looked at me for about some time and shook his head. I asked him if there was any problem. He smiled and told me there is nothing wrong. But then, I should put my 2 palms in the water that was by my side. I did that and he made me to place my hand on a cloth which he gave me. That cloth was black cloth. He then asked me to pick an egg which was placed in a certain calabash that was full with other things. I took the egg and he told me to wrap the egg in the black cloth that I talked about. When I was done with the wrapping of the egg, he told me to take the egg back home. He told me to put it in a house that I was raised. In that house, I should dig a hole at the back of the house and bury the egg. And when it is done, I should return to the city so that my friend will bring me to his place for the final thing to be done, so that I can have access to the monies that I was destined to have. We all came back to my friend's house. And the next day, he gave us all some amount of monies. So we returned back to our hometown to do what instructions each other has been given to go through. I came back home, and that very night, I went through the directions that were given to me by the man. So I buried the egg at the back of the house. The next morning, I planted a mango tree by the side so that I can remember exactly where I buried the egg. I called my friends and wanted to find out when exactly we were going to go back to the man for the final rituals. They told me to take time since our friend in the city said that the man had asked us later to wait for about a month or so for him to confirm for everyone before we can come to his place. I never knew it was all but pure lies. They were waiting to see what will happen before they will go to the man. In fact, whatever it is that we were supposed to have, the sacrifice was chosen from my family. The reason why my cloth was the black one, instead of red like their own. Because I was the only one living with my mother in the house, because my younger siblings had been taken to my grandparents' house, the obvious family member of mine left in the house was my mother. In about 2 to 3 weeks after we had returned from that trip, my mother fell seriously ill. And within 2 days of her illness, she died. I was with these friends of mine throughout my difficult moments. Not knowing that, they know exactly the cause of her death. But then, they pretended to care about her death. After my mother's 1-week rites had been done, our friend in the city asked us to go back to the man. At first I didn't want to go. Because, the very person I wanted the money for so badly was gone like that. There was no reason for me to go on with anything again. But then, the other friend told me that it is necessary for me to go and finish what I started because of my younger siblings. Because, now that my mother and father are no more, they will be looking up to me to be that parent figure for them. I saw some wisdom in what he told me. And so, I joined them and we went back to where we went to do the rituals. We were made to bath some herbs for 2 days over there. At the end of the day when we were about to come, the man called me and told me that I should always be mindful and careful of the people I call friends. He said that he does not want to instigate problems between us. But he is warning me to be very much careful about the people I call friends. That is all that he can tell me. He then told me that, when I finally make money, I should always go and lay a rat on her grave. And thank her for making me who I am today. I didn't understand most of the things that he told me until now. I now do have money, and I feel so empty after I got to know the real source of my money. When I started to make the money, I had gone out to a place to get a land to build something for myself and my siblings. I met this man who happened to also have come there to inspect his land. When we met, he told me that he wished he could talk to me about something important. So I agreed and we went back into my car and he started by telling me things he said he sees. Reason why I allowed the conversation was because he first told me about the fact that I have lost my mother. And then he said something about the fact that I had made a journey to a land where I got help in becoming who I am. That got my attention, and I had to listen to whatever he had to tell me. In the car, he said a lot about the fact that I have made a mistake in certain decisions that I have made in this life. And what I see today as me having money is nothing to what I was destined to have. He told me that he would love to have me at his place of worship, so that we can talk more about the cause of my mother's death. That really got me interested and so, I went to his place. That was when I got to know all about the things that were done before I even embarked on the journey with them. Apparently, they knew what they were up to, before we even went there together. He told me that, the reason why they came to tell me about the rituals is because, they were told about the need to sacrifice an elderly woman to enable them break the situation they all find themselves. And since none wanted to use their mothers, they saw the need to convince me to be a part of the journey. So that I would take the egg to my house and it will cause the death of my mother. Since everything was revealed to me by this man, I have never felt right about me having this money. Knowing that, the money is the reason why my own mother is not living right now. I honestly do not know what to do again. The man now is telling me to start cleansing process, which will help clean my spirit man. And also I should go to my mother's grave to confess and ask her spirit for forgiveness for the things I have done to her.
Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. After listening to this story, I will say that I leave everything to our viewers to foment and share their experiences with us, or if only you have experienced something like this. Let me talk about what really is happening in this generation. Our people and loved ones are gradually being lured into these blood money rituals, which are destroying families. But one thing that I would like my viewers and followers to know is that, when something is destined to come your way, nothing in this world can stop it coming to reality. So, we shouldn't rush to force destiny. Because whatever you are supposed to accomplish here on this earth, you will surely accomplish them before leaving this place. The love for money, the scriptures say, is the root of all evil. And like our brother perfectly said, you cannot make money through this means without sacrificing someone or pouring blood. I just hope that we honestly take the important lessons from these stories to better our lives and decisions. I pray that we learn from some of these stories and live a better life. If not for anything at all, it pays to live a decent and better life. Stay blessed and be safe. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share.